Alright, hey y'all, today I'm gonna show you guys how strong Joker is with the new buffs. And Joker is really strong because they did fix the boss damage. And if you guys don't know, boss damage is a damage amp in this game, which makes his total DPS like way stronger. Now if you guys don't know what I mean, I'll show you guys at the end where I do like all the math and calc his damage. Alright y'all, so sorry for the weird cut. So for the first part of the video, I was going to show me soloing the Bleach Raid Act 5, but I think it'd be kind of weird if I didn't go over Joker's damage first. His damage may seem confusing to a lot of people because his damage changes a lot, but I am going to explain why that happens. So first, we gotta understand what his passive does. So from his first passive, if he does a follow-up attack and it crits, he gets an additional 75% damage for 10 seconds. But I believe if he has 50% hope, no, it's 75% hope. So if he has 75% hope, that damage buff is increased to 150% damage. So that's the damage buff he has right now. If we look at it right here, yeah, leader of team, follow-up crit. And then he does get additional damage from Arsene. So if we look at Arsene's attack, he can apply 50% damage to Joker for 10 seconds. And the amplification, it's instead a 100% damage boost. And if you guys don't know what an amplification is, it's basically when Arsene does the same attack 3 times. So as you guys can see right there, that's at least my Joker's max damage. Your Joker might do a little bit less, a little bit more. Now I know what you guys are thinking, but what if you know, those two things happen? Like, you know, what if Arsene doesn't attack, and what if he doesn't get the follow-up? So I am going to tell you guys this right now. If you guys have at least 10% crit rate on each of your relics, so I have 10 right here, and you guys use Fern on the team. Well, Fern is Fern is supposed to be on the team, but so yeah, once you use Fern, and he gets a 75% crit rate, 99% of the game you are going to get a follow-up no matter what. So I'm gonna be honest with you guys, it happens rarely, so hopefully I get it on video right now. So if I guys show you Joker's animation, so every time he attacks, he's going to get a follow-up every single time. So he attacks, boom, follow-up. And then he's going to attack, boom, follow-up. So if you guys have at least 10% crit rate on each of your relics and use the firm buff, he's going to do a follow-up every single time. And in that rare case where you see that little number, not even a second later, he is going to buff himself again, so... Alright guys, so I am going to show you guys a little chart or a little guide to see how to calculate his damage with your own Joker. But I am going to use obviously my stats as an example so you guys can see how much damage he can do. Also, by the way, Arsene's damage, we are not going to take into account of Arsene's damage because he is extremely weak. He doesn't get none of the relics pass over. If we go to the info, as you guys can see, the relics pass over. He has no crit damage, no nothing. So, and even if you look at the total damage, 40 million, Joker 452 million. So we're not gonna take into account of Arsene's damage. He's just so weak. He's so useless, which kind of sucks. He's just there for the attacks to buff Joker. That's pretty much it. Alright, anyways, here we go guys. This is the chart. It may seem a lot, but you know, it's nothing too crazy. So this is the formula that we're working with, and huge shout out to a guy named Your Guy. Funny enough, that's his actual name. He's the one that found this formula. You know, I tried my best to find it myself, but you know, I ended up seeing it, his thread first. So you just copy and paste this into your web browser, and then you know, you just punch in the numbers. So first number is just your base damage and your crit damage as a percent. So since my crit damage is 288, I'm gonna type in 3.88%, and then crit chance as a percent, you just move the decimal over. So since my crit chance is 75%, I do 0.75%, and then you do 1 minus your crit chance, so 1 minus 0.75%, which would be 0.25%. And the whole purpose of that little part is to calculate his average crit, and this little part is gonna calculate his follow-up attack. And we're going to divide it by 5 because that's his animation cap or his animation lock. And then we're going to multiply that big number you guys are going to get by 1.7, which is the biomass and the radiation damage amp. And then we're going to multiply it by 1.5, which is the boss damage amp. So of course, if you look at the bottom left, that's how much damage my Joker is doing. So the difference between both numbers without concentrate, you know, it's not that big. But if you look at the difference between with concentrate, it is a big difference. It's almost a 200,000 damage difference. So the concentrate buff is really strong, and it just shows you how important the crit rate is. And then just some notes here, you want to aim at least 10% crit rate. And then of course, if done correctly, you'll get 150% damage from the first passive, 99% of the game. And I just showed you guys earlier an example. With this team, you are going to have to get a bit lucky in 15 wave game modes to get the Bulma buff, to get all the Dragon Balls. But in any game modes with 15 or more waves, it's going to be easier to get the Bulma crit rate buff. So this team can do really good in the Bleach raid boss rush. Anyways, that's pretty much it for for his numbers and his calculations and all that. Now I'm gonna show you guys me soloing the Bleach raid Act 5. Alright, so for the relics, the top, your main stat wants to be damage, and then for your bottom, you want to do damage, and of course elemental damage for the accessory. And now you want to focus on getting crit rate. As you guys can see, I have 10% crit rate, 10% crit rate, 10% crit rate. So try getting a high stat distribution for your relics, and then try rolling crit rate. You gotta do this, try to go for crit damage or high stat. So you want to try some crit rate, and then I think probably cooldown. So we're gonna set it up here in the face turn, look over the face. So again, Joker is gonna do a lot of heavy lifting early on, and it may seem scary when a bunch of enemies pass by, but we're gonna be alright. You also want to make sure you want to utilize Bulma's active too for Morgan. So we should use for on side too. You see, a lot of the luck. Alright, so once we max out Joker, we're now gonna focus on upgrading Venom so we can get his assimilate ability, so we can use that on Joker to buff him even more. Right, now we should upgrade Venom so we get him. There you go, now we can see what's video. Now it's gonna be a lot easier. I'm sure the boss is fun. And if you guys do get all the Dragon Balls, obviously summon Shenron, and you actually, you're gonna want to choose crit rate so you can get even more crit rate. Alright, so you have us here. This guy's gonna get destroyed, as you guys can see. Oh, and there you go. So we beat that in like what, 3 minutes and I don't know, like 3 minutes and 30 or 40 seconds. So this team is pretty good. Anyways, that's pretty much it for the video, guys. I hope this video helps you guys out, and to any Persona fans out there that really wanted to find a team for Joker, unfortunately the rest of the Phantom Thieves they are not that good. But if you guys do want a team with just the Phantom Thieves, I can try my best, to try to find their best traits and all that. Anyways, I hope you guys have a good day. Peace.